once went on, he once traveled just to go on subways in Europe. How was it?
It was brilliant. I love trains. So I decided to go to Europe and take a trip throughout Europe using trains. Because the fortunate thing about Europe is that there's no more borders. It's an open continent where you can travel without ever being stopped at a border point, which is something that we as Africans need to learn. And I decided to take a train ride, and I would get what you call a pass that will give you a ride on any particular train through any country that you want to go to. And it was very enlightening. It was a very interesting experience to know that there are trains that travel faster than the fastest cars. It's unbelievable. Trains that travel at 360 kilometers per hour. It's an exhilarating experience, but it's a mind-opening experience. And to know that a person can come from one country, Netherlands, and go to work in Germany every morning and be able to go back to Netherlands and sleep with their family in a different country, it's absolutely amazing. So I would like a time where we can have a Zimbabwean coming to work in South Africa and a South African going to work in Zimbabwe, money traveling from South Africa into Zimbabwe, and so forth and so on, because there's so much opportunity. I think those are the things that I love about those kind of learning experiences.
Wow, who wouldn't want that? I would personally would love to try. I would make it a point that I'll try that one day. Well, coming now to our questions now, the main agenda of this meeting, besides us getting to know you as our mentors, as our leaders, as our motivators, I would like to start with you. Unfortunately, for those who are more of the agenda, for now, I'm not going to start with the lady. Mkome, what inspired you to get into business?
What inspired me to get into business was a dream to say that if you want to be able to manifest your dreams and aspirations, you have to be in control of that destiny. And so that was point number one. Point number two, I had an objective of being financially independent. But as time has gone on, I've understood that finance is not the most important thing in life. But the most important thing in life is actually walking towards your destiny and purpose. Now, we have been brought up to believe that our purpose is to make money. Our purpose is not to make money. And when we go back to traditional African values and traditional African life, our responsibilities and roles were determined by our gifts, by what it is that was naturally endowed in us, or the values that were instilled by tradition from our elders. So you realize that people used to be healers. A person would be a healer, and that was their profession, and that's what they did. They didn't do it for money, they didn't do it for recognition, but they did it because that is what they were gifted to give to life. Some people were hunters, some people were medicine men. Their job was just to go into the mountain and through dreams decipher which medicines were good for people. So when I combine those factors together and I exclude the monetary aspect, because as time has gone on, I've realized that if you focus on the money, you won't focus on purpose. But if you focus on purpose, you can start fulfilling your role and being a productive member of society by giving what it is that you've been naturally endowed to have. Now a lot of people will say, what is this natural endowment? As beings, we were created by someone and something to be here. That spirit that brought us here for a purpose. And it is that spirit that gives you your purpose in your heart, for you to know what your purpose is, for you to fulfill what your purpose is.
Wow. I personally have been one of those, young guys that have believed that business is all about making money. I've been so thirsty over, I've been looking for this paper. And when you talk about your purpose, it actually gives me a view of where I presumably was going wrong, especially in pursuing my business. And that would get me to Mr. Mike. You spoke of purpose in your book. Tell us a little bit about that. You spoke about purpose.
There's one thing that I've realized, because there's a question that came about from him. He said, how is it that an individual can achieve what we call purpose? What is this purpose all about? And I answered with another question. I said, the first thing that as an individual you should ask yourself, as I'll refer to Nkoma, Big Brother, what is the reason of your existence here on earth? That's the very first question that you should ask yourself. Were you just born to be a family man or a family woman? Or were you just born to make money? Or you were just born to feed your parents? You were just born to look after your environment? There's a quote which I love a lot from Horace Mann who says, we should be ashamed to die and leave this world unless we have made a major contribution to society. You see that? We should be ashamed to die and leave this world unless we have made a major contribution to society. When I read that, it triggers my mind. And I was like, this is what I've been looking for. In fact, it's a very, very first quote from my book. And then I started pursuing what I call purpose. What is it that I have to do? What is it that I have to empower, which I have to give to somebody else? It's not all about making the money, as Kuma said. It's not all about being celebrated. It's not all about being recognized by society. But it's about you fulfilling that innermost thing in your heart. What is it that you have to do as an individual? What is your reason of existence? That's my question to you.
For me, this has been one of the most difficult questions that I've ever encountered in my life. Even up until now, I think I'm still battling with really discovering what my purpose really is. One day, I wake up feeling, okay, I need to do this. This is my purpose. 2 days, 3 days later, I feel like, no. Maybe, let me try this other. I read a lot. I find an inspiring story. I tend to like the story, whatever the person is doing, and I start thinking maybe I also have to do the same. So it has taken me to a point where I'm always going round and round and round and round and round in circles pertaining to that person. I believe a lot of us here really want to know more about how we can be able to discover purpose. So I believe, before I come to, I believe as we go, we will be able to get a lot of insights, wisdom, and knowledge on how we can be able to achieve. We can get to this point of knowing what's our true purpose. Yes, but you.
I just wanted to add something quickly there before. When I studied Nelson Mandela's life, I see a man who was among the first black lawyers in South Africa. I don't know if many of us know the story. He could have been celebrated even today for being among the first black lawyers in South Africa. But the guy, throughout his life, he saw that that was not enough for him. That was not enough for him. He wanted to be known for something afterward. He wanted to tap into that which was burning in his heart. And today the entire world celebrate Mandela because of what he did, not because of what he achieved from university. So purpose is not about what you achieve from external activities or external achievement, but it's that which you achieve via tapping what is inside of you. Today we all talk about Mandela. Why? Not because he's a lawyer, but because he tapped into what many people would not have believed that he could have done.
Thank you, Mr. Mike. I would like to get to Angel. What inspired you to get into business?
Actually, my story is very, very interesting.
Okay.
And I just realized now, but when you're growing up, you're not even aware that actually you like I think I like to serve people. Even during my early age at the primary school, like when our village started to have electricity, like my home was the first home that was started to have the electricity in those days, understand? And then what came in my mind, I thought, oh my God, we have fridge, I can make ice block. And then actually to serve young people around my community to come and buy. Actually, everything what I was saying, if ever I went to the shop, something is cheaper, I'll just buy it, even the chappies, and I'll go to school and sell it. But that time, you realize that you always want to serve people to their needs, not to be, I was not selling it to say I want to have money, but people to enjoy, to benefit something. But in those times, you're not thinking this is the entrepreneurship, it's the business. And then it went on and on. And even during my tertiary days, I would sell anything. I'll just go maybe in town, get the lip gloss for yourself. And then you find out, oh my God, they are 10. Okay, they are cheaper. That means I can go to school and then double it and then sell to other people because you don't have the benefit to get it where I got it. And then it means, but I studied IT at school, information technology, and in those times you're not even aware what's your strength. It's just they tell you it was 1994, information technology was the new buzz, and they're telling you that this is the latest thing that you can do to get a job. And actually, you qualify your results from matric. I studied IT. I worked in the IT industry for a while. But I was not even enjoying, I don't know, I was not getting fulfilled, maybe. I was not even becoming creative. I think I was in the wrong space. Until one day, but always I've been selling anything. If ever I go to town, believe me, I know all the corners in Johannesburg where they're selling something. It started long ago. People, they don't even believe it. They're thinking, oh my God, they don't even thinking you started going to China City to sell something. They're just thinking like when you are there, you started realizing that, this is what I really like. And one day, I was an IT consultant, wearing suits in the offices. And then I realized that, you know what, I'm so depressed. Something is missing in me, I'm doing this, but I'm not really enjoying it. What I really enjoy, I just resigned. And then I just tell myself that, and without even planning anything, but I don't advise anyone to do that. Like not knowing that where I'm going to pay the rent, you're not even, like when you resign, you have to maybe save money for ease. It's just happened to say, you know what, I'm not happy. And can you imagine? And then I just told myself that, I think I must do something that I really like. And then I started just going and without any capital. But I told myself that, I'll look at it. And then I went on and on, going to the companies, just approaching them that, I can be able to supply you with something. I can send you this and different communities, or I'll even ask you what you want. Like people, they're not even taking you serious. Like they're saying, I remember my first order, they went to the company, they said, we want dooms. Can you be able to supply that? Doom, the doom? Yes. Or the cockroach?
Yes.
I think they just wanted to push me away, but because of the ease, and then I just told myself, yes, I can be able to.
And you supply them?
I went and looked for them, now starting to wear my techies, like from your suit to, and now you cannot even make profit, you cannot even hire anyone. We have to carry those boxes. People, they were thinking I'm crazy. But I realized I was so happy because I can be able to serve other people. I think it's more even on making people happy. It just started like that. In the short time. Yeah.
Wow. I think from what I've there's one or two common things across the panel which I've had. Mainly what motivated them to or what inspired them to start their business. And surprisingly, money is not even the first. Purpose, personal fulfillment, Happiness is what I have myself. And what are the biggest misconceptions of business? Goma, this is a question to you. What you personally think are the biggest misconceptions of business?
There are a number of them. One of the things that is molding our minds in business and misleading young people is the books that we read. There's a lot of motivational books, a lot of business books out there, and what they are telling us and molding our minds to think is not what life is about. Number one, they will tell you that if you dream it, and if you want it, you're going to get it.
Okay.
They will also tell you that if you work hard, you're going to prosper. Now, I would like to blow that bubble away and say that there are many people who work hard who don't prosper. Who are very bitter, very angry because things are not working out.
I was one of them.
If you dream it, if you dream it, if you go for it, it does not necessarily mean you're going to get it. And I'll tell you the reason why. Life is a destiny that is already, I believe that it is in general predestined, or your path is already laid out in a certain way. There are people who wake up, don't aspire to do anything, don't go out to look for opportunity, but opportunity comes to them while they sit. There are people who go out and look for opportunity and hunt for it, and opportunity doesn't come to them. I've got perfect examples in this life. I know a lady who's a millionaire today. This was a lady that never really went to do tertiary. She used to wake up, smoke weed. She was a model, go and model. But opportunities would come to her doorstep consistently. Why? We will never know. Because some people attract opportunity by reasons and ways that we will never really know. Then there are those people who hustle. They wake up every morning going to look for that chance, and that opportunity just never opens up. There are people who have woken up in the morning and the person has called them, listen, I've got a deal. I need somebody to provide 1,000 desks. Can you do it? Or do? And this guy is like, I don't know where to start. And the person on the other side, the person giving them the opportunity, will say to them, I'll tell you what you need to do. Go and register a company and then go to this factory and get prices for desks and come and give me a quotation. So now what I'm trying to say is that there is destiny in life. And you have to discover what it is that your destiny is. I know this example that I'm giving you now because I got to a point where when I was 20 years of age, I went to school when I was 16. I started making clothes. And I was going to a college that we didn't have to wear uniform. And while I make clothes, I would sell those clothes and then sell to my counterparts because my parents would not give me 1,000 rand or 2,000 rand to buy a pair of sneakers. But I wanted those things, so I had to work for them. I tell you, I made so much money when I was in school that I thought that by the time I was 25, I'd be a millionaire. And the destiny looked like it was leading me in that direction. But there were then things that happened in my life with all that ambition. The fact that I had started a business at 16 and I was making money. Of course I should have been a millionaire by the time I was 25. But things didn't work out like that. There were things that happened in that time that were supernatural, that I couldn't explain. Things that you would say, you go in, you've got your materials, you've got your suits that you've made, you're going to get 30,000 rand out of this, and you'll get robbed and you lose everything. That has got nothing to do with ambition. It's got nothing to do with your working hard. It has got something to do with the fact that you can't even manage. And that is a reality in life. And so when you guys go into business, you need to understand that these are the things that are going to happen to you. And everything that you read in the books will not match with sometimes what's happening in your life. So, I even got into a situation where when there were diamonds in Zimbabwe, I went and participated in that. And there's a time I had almost R1 million in cash at the age of 28. That means you're a millionaire, basically. But in that year, I got hijacked 5 times. I got a car struck by lightning. Those are things you never, ever prepare for, expect, or see as possible. But they happened. And I ended up losing that whole 800,000 to zero. I didn't buy champagne with that money. I'm stingy. I do not give money. But I ended up at zero. Why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because you're going to be aspiring young people who want to be in business, who want to prosper. And I want to tell you that there are going to be things that are going to happen that do not go according to the myths that we've been taught in this world. There are some of you that are going to make it with such ease. There are some of you that are going to struggle and not make it. And there are some of you that are going to struggle and make it. Why is the reason why I'm telling you that ultimately it's going to boil down to what is your purpose, what is your destiny, who are you meant to be?
Wow. If we do have models in the crowd, please don't go and smoke weed and think that opportunities are going to come. Opportunities will come. That's what I think. Well, I'm still going to come. I'm coming back to you right away. So what measures do you think we need to take? I mean, in our personal and professional life, for us to be successful in this journey. I mean, looking at what you've been through, cars being struck by lightning, losing 800,000 rands worth of money, all those hurdles. So what can I do? I mean, if I'm facing such kind of circumstances, losing money, personally me, I've been involved in a whole lot of things. I've invested money in a whole lot of different things. Had accidents, lost everything that I had in businesses, came up with ideas, partnered with people. For example, one idea that I had, it was financed actually for $13.5 million US. But I got kicked out of the deal because simply I didn't have knowledge on how I was supposed to go around the deal, the partnership, how I was supposed to structure the partnership. And I was so young, and at that point, and I was barely 23. So you can imagine all those misfortunes. I've lost it all. I've been there. I've worked so hard, like you can say. So I once worked as a waiter. Was working double shifts. When I say a double shift, I mean I'm working from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. So hard, so hard, each and every day for a whole year. But still, we want to raise the money. How do we get to go? I mean, to build our own personal and professional.
Right, it's a good question, and I was hoping you were going to ask that because the reason I highlighted the problems is I don't want us to grow in a dream world. I want us to understand that the world that we live in is cruel. The world that we live in has got challenges and difficulties that are going to try and take you away from where you're supposed to go. And the one thing that we never speak about, which is the reality of how this world is actually built, is that there's something called the spirituality of a person. Every single thing that you see created in this world today was created by spirituality. The question is, what kind of spirituality? If you ever found out that during the Renaissance or the Enlightenment age in the 1400s, inventors said that they got enlightened. Some light bulb came on in their heads that gave them the answer to creating something. They do not say, I studied this thing until something came out of it. They do not say that I formulated this thing from basically being smart and intelligent. They usually say something switched on. What is that something that switches on? That something that switches on is the spirituality inside you, inspiring you to achieve a purpose. Not necessarily your purpose, but a purpose, because human beings are spiritual beings before they become physical and before they become mental beings. And this is the thing that our books won't tell us, because that is the secret. Creation, it is the secret of invention. And you will see that when colonization took place, the very first thing that the people that colonized us did was to kill our spirituality. Once you kill a person's spirituality, You innately make them a slave or a follower of whatever person can lead them. And so, you will see that we've got a lot of PhDs in Africa, a lot of very educated people in Africa, but you hardly see innovations coming out of Africa. And you ask yourself, why do we have so many PhDs, master's degrees, but we are not creating? Because there's no spirituality involved. But within this spirituality, you need to understand that there's different types of spirituality. There's a spirituality that can lead you to create creations that have no benefit for humanity, and the spirituality that can empower you to create creations that are good for humanity. So I'll take you to the creations that we currently have that all of us aspire to create. We want to create cars. We want to create all the technology that we see in the world today. But I want to ask you, does the technology that we see in the world today benefit humanity, or is it inimical, or is it affecting humanity? And I think the answer to that is pretty obvious. And this is where Africans come into the central part. Africans have not been allowed to create because our spirituality was killed. But today we're sitting with young people like you to inspire you to say, you have a spirituality inside you. If you start reaching into it, if you stop doing the things that you've been told to do that have killed your spirituality, you'll be surprised at what will come out of your spirit to help humanity, to help Africans, and tomorrow to help the world. It is what they don't want you to have, because that's why they teach you the maths, that's why they teach you the science, that's why they teach you a lot of what they teach you to keep you conformed as a slave to produce or administer what they want you to administer. I don't know what you will be able to produce from your spirits, but what I'm saying is connect with your spirit. All those challenges that I told you about were designed to be there to frustrate you, but you will be able to win over those frustrations once you get in touch with your spirituality, who you are by essence and what you are created to do. You will start to produce solutions for humanity.
Wow. You asked a question about these creations. I want us to take a moment to think about it. At the end of the session, I want us to discuss within ourselves what kind of creations are we aiming to create? Those that will empower humanity, or those that will destroy humanity? Let's just think about it, you know. And coming to my sister over here, you've been in business for some time. You've done it, been there, traveled the world. I assume you are dealing with a whole lot of different, clients, partners across the world. Through even the JCI. You know, what are the critical skills needed for somebody to really achieve business from your own experiences?
Okay, actually businesses need passion.
Passion.
That's number one. You have to have passion. You have to have a drive. It's not easy sometimes. There are a lot of challenges out there. But I believe that as a person, you must not, maybe I'm one of what is talking about, that they are dreamers. They are not in the real world, but actually it's working. That for me is working for me. That's why I'm saying we are different as people. We believe in the different ways. Myself, I can motivate myself to say, you know what? I believe that I can talk to the universe, the spiritual that we're talking about. But again, I will not just say, you know what? Always as an entrepreneur, you have to be a risk taker. You will not make it if ever you are not a risk taker. Even if now you have a small money that, you know, is your last cent, you have to risk to believe. You know, it's a dream. You're not even sure that if ever I put this, it will come multiplied. But you have to believe it. And if you're not believing, nothing will happen. It's what has been happening to me. I lost a lot of money, but at the end of the day, I don't give up. Yes, tomorrow I just think myself, like where you lost that money, and then I tell myself, but you know what? I can still go on, and I'll make it. You understand? And it's just need that you have to just motivate yourself. You have to believe in your dreams. To say, you know what, I want to get there. I remember I just tell myself that, you know what, firstly, I remember it's came to say, you know what, I want to be my own boss. I want to be a billionaire. And I was telling myself that I'm going to get there, no matter how hard is it. Because I was believing it. Other people, they thought that I'm very crazy about whatever, but, you know, I believe on vision board, you know. I put a vision board in my space. I had my friend who used to just do our vision board, you know, to say, you know what, one day I want to have 1, 2, 3, you know. I want to see my company employing 1, 2, 3. I remember one day I was in my bedroom, in my small flat. Things were not working out. You know, like when you're thinking, oh my God, there's nothing happening. You know? I don't even have a cent in my, you know, like you wake up, you are so depressed. I went to the shop and buy, you know, like you're thinking, oh my God, I have to quit and go and look for a job again. I went to buy in the Star. Instead of opening that Star, I'm looking at my vision board to say, Angel, you want to be your own boss, you want to be a billionaire, you know, you want to make positive change to other people. And you can do that if ever you have money. You can, you know, I was just crying and looking at that, and I threw that in the dustbin. I went and backed. I said, now I'm going to go and approach people, and I will get it. That's why sometimes you have to be positive about everything. You have to believe of what you are thinking. That's why you have to change your mindset. Because most of the things, when you become negative, those negativity, you are treating it, you know, but you say, oh my God, when I get into business, I'm going to lose money, or I'm going to do this. You must not, I advise people that you must not fear anything in your life. It's where I am now.
Wow. I got passion. I got perseverance, not giving up, risk taking, and believing in yourself. Is the most critical, according to you, skills or characteristics that somebody would need for them to be successful. I believe we've got people here who are in different fields. Some they want to get into modeling, some they want to probably be in academics, some it's what she's saying or what the panel is saying. Take it and use it in anything. It's not just business. Some people don't want to be in business. They want just to be professionals. They want to be. We can use each and every advice in anything that we do. And coming to you, sir, Mike, what are some of your personal experiences? You know, the most challenging personal experiences that you've gone through that have shaped the Mike who's sitting right here in front of us today?
First of all, we need to realize one thing, as the big brother said, that life is not a theoretical platform. It's a pragmatic platform. So it's real, very, very real. Yes, we do understand that sometimes we like reading books in order to enlighten us. I've gone through quite a lot of challenges. I remember there was a time whereby when I was at varsity, I don't come from a good, financially well-sustainable family. I remember when I was doing my last year actually, I was supposed to be writing my MET exam the following day. And it happened that where I was living, because I was renting an apartment outside the university, where I was living, because I had not paid my rent yet, the landlord had closed down my room without knowing it. So I was studying on campus, and then I went back home. It was around about 6 p.m. I tried opening up the door was locked. I was like, geez, what is, and I'm writing tomorrow. My calculators, my other equipment were locked up in the room. So I was like, Jesus, what am I going to do? I tried calling the guy's phone was off. I told myself, you know what? It's good. I'm still gonna make it. I went back to campus and I slept in the classroom on that day. And the following day, I went and wrote my exam and I passed actually. And it was so hectic because it was during winter actually. It was around May, you know, when it gets too cold. So all those challenges actually, when I look at them, I don't use them as an excuse to fail. You know, when I looked at all those challenges, I told myself, you know, there is a reason why I'm going through this, because I have a story to tell. You know, and one thing that we should never do as an individual is to allow these circumstances to keep us down. That's one thing I never did. To try and allow my past, my background, my past failures, my mom's situation, my dad's situation, you know, because I come from a very rough background actually. My dad and my mom separated when I was young. I never saw my dad. My dad is at home. I grew up with my mom in South Africa. Saw her going through a lot of pain, seeing her going through a lot of challenges just to get me into education and stuff like that. But I never allowed those things actually to keep me down. I told myself, you know what, I can change these things by the reason of the way that I think. Because as our sister was saying, the way you think is very important. You know, I would like to quote one scripture which says that whatsoever a man thinketh, so is he. Because as individuals, many a times, the reason why we are where we are, it's because of the level of our thinking. If you can agree with me with that, it's the level of your thinking. If you want to change your life, just change the level of your thinking. As my brother was talking about the enlightenment stage and age, I realized one thing, is that a whole lot of us have not been able to switch into the light bulb in us. And that is why we are where we are. It's because we have not yet switched, attained that level, low level of life. High level of thinking result in high level of life. So it's all dependent on that. I had to change my way of thinking. I had to tell myself, you know, despite of these challenges, I can still make it. I can still write my books. I can still become whoever that I want to become. It all depends on what you see there. What do you see in the frame of your own mind? David saw himself as a conqueror even before he went to battle with Goliath. He stood up and said, I can kill this man. And he did it. Why? Because he saw himself as a conqueror at the age of 16. So it's all started there.
Thinking. There's a lady, I'm not so sure if she's around today. Her name is Ntombi. This lady, she is a young lady who is at Wits University. She's got an amazing story. I think people who were here on the first day witnessed and heard her story. She was in a situation where she was about to be put into a situation which was going to compromise her life. If I can put it openly, as I believe she would be okay with us as a network to know her story. She was about to being married off by her father, by her family. They didn't want her to come to university. They only wanted her to get married, and they had already arranged everything for her to happen. But because of her thinking, because of what she wanted to do, what she wanted to achieve in life, this young lady, she went behind her parents. She looked for bursaries. She applied for everything herself. Never told anyone up until the day when she was about to come to university. They didn't know her parents. So it's a question which is directed to you, Angel. As a lady, as a woman, how would you encourage other women in different situations right now? To go through such difficult circumstances.
Okay. I see beautiful women here. And I believe that they can be able to, no matter who you are, where are you coming from, your background, you can make it. And I think that in the olden days, people, they have this mentality that they deal with your confidence as a woman, that you can not make it in life because you are a woman. But nothing, even your, you can do anything that a man can do, is what I believe. And I encourage you that no matter what, the world is a oyster. It's up to you what you want to do. Even the sky is not a limit. You can do anything. It's what I believe, and I've been tapping into the industry that is men dominated. Like for example, mining industry. Very few women that I, for example, in terms of even import and export. Very few women, but I told myself that nothing is impossible that I can achieve as a woman. If someone, we are women beings, no one is more, like it can be better than you, understand? You have to believe in yourself, that you know what, I can do it. If ever you want to be a professor, what is blocking you to be that? If ever you want to be like, who's the founder of Apple? Steve Jobs. You can be a Steve Jobs. Yes, you can be a first woman to do that. And I believe that this life is so beautiful. Nothing is impossible.
Wow.
I can tell them that.
Ladies,
And can I add on that?
Yes.
And again, it's very important, the company that you keep. Stay away from negative people. That they'll always pin you down, you know. Most of the time you're hanging around the friends that when you say, I want to do this, they say, oh, who are you? You cannot do, I have a friend, my friend there, I came with today. We've been friends from high school. We always encouraging each other. And there are down days, like not things going like the way we want. But because of you surround yourself with positive people that are open-minded, you make it in life. And that is very, very, very important, the company that you keep.
Wow, thank you so much. Well, as you've noted in our presence, we've been trying to maintain, a conversation from their person, their experiences, business, advice. So we are not going to ask each and everything. We want to give you guys the platform to ask questions. Just after my next two and last questions that I would like to ask the panel. So, Mkoma, from your own understanding, your own experiences, what is the identity of the African business right now? And how can young people shape their identity, their African identity, to change it for the better?
I'm going to answer that question, topping off with a bit of what you were saying. Particularly, I would like to speak to the girls. Like I said, everything has an essence, an origin, a purpose in a jigsaw puzzle. Now, I believe that if this world had been built by women, we would not have hungry people. I believe that if this world had been built by women, we wouldn't have the chemicals that are destroying our countries and our environments right now. Because women were born with an ability to nurture. Women nurture and create, thinking about tomorrow and thinking about their offspring and their survival. If we look at the world that has been created today and the legacy that is leaving us, it is people who wanted to benefit themselves today and didn't think about the children tomorrow.